Welcome to A Shadow Rock. I am your host, Alex, and I am here with Ryan and Crispin of the Veer Union. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good, doing good.
All right,
good.
Despite there being an itty-bitty crowd tonight.
You know, sometimes when it's a million degrees, negative million degrees, it was actually probably the coldest any place of any show that we played.
Yeah, it was very cold.
It was very cold.
But
so
everyone that was there was great. So.
Yeah, totally. No, we still had a great time.
You guys started tour instantly around the 2nd, right? January 2nd?
No, December 28th, actually.
December 28th. There was just a little break in there for...
Oh, little break?
Yeah. Did you not have a show on the 1st?
We did not have a show
not on the first.
Okay, that's what threw me off.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have a show on the 1st.
Yeah.
National Hangover Day.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have your 6th studio album out, Decade.
Yep.
And you also did an acoustic version of it as well.
Yes.
With a whole new CD release. Why did you decide to do the acoustic version of the album?
Well, I think that a lot of people... It's funny. I think that a lot of people are like... They like acoustic versions, and we did an acoustic tour last year, you know, supporting that record, and we always did like one-offs, you know, here and there. We'd always kind of do acoustic versions, but we had a lot of people asking us for a full album of acoustic versions, so now we've been kind of migrating towards doing full albums of acoustic versions, so we try to give the people what they want.
That's right.
How do you pick the songs that you do acoustic? Like, did you kind of have an idea while writing them, or was it just like, that one would sound nice?
You know, actually, it's kind of the opposite. Especially when you say, okay, we're going to do an acoustic version of this album, a lot of the time it's like, how the hell are we going to play this acoustically? It's like, some of them are definitely way more challenging to do acoustically.
Absolutely.
And then some of them are, wow, this actually turned out to be a better song acoustic than it was in its rock version. You know, I can honestly say that about Heart Attack. Heart
Absolutely.
Attack, it was the first song we put on the Decade acoustic sessions. It's probably my least favorite song off of the electric version.
Yeah.
It's my favorite song in the acoustic version.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
yeah.
Since it's your least favorite, how do you decide to... Because, let's see, you wrote a bunch early on in your career that ended up on Decade.
Yes.
So if that one was one of your least favorite, why did it end up on that album?
When I say least favorite, I mean out of all the songs that are on the album,
Yeah.
it's my least favorite on the album because when in the writing process, I was like, wow, this might be a single. But at the end of the process, when it was all produced, we were like, yeah, still a good song, but it's not my favorite song.
Right.
It doesn't mean, why we're not going to put this on the album.
Right.
It's just not, you know, Defying Gravity ended up being my favorite song. And then we showed people, and we were really hoping that they would pick Defying Gravity as the first single off that album, and luckily, I don't know, I would say probably 9.5 times out of 10, usually our feelings for whatever the single is going to be, usually our team and, you know, the people that we trust to kind of listen to it for the first time usually agree.
So did you put out Defying Gravity as your first acoustic off that album because it was your first single, or what?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely intentionally did that. I mean, there's no mystery behind that. Even though, actually, funny enough, we shot Defying Gravity rock version at the same time as we shot Defying Gravity acoustic, literally on the same day.
Really?
Yeah, and then we came out with it a year later. Yeah.
Nice. So you sat on that for a while then.
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I love that video, the acoustic one.
Oh, cool.
Like,
Awesome.
it's very simple, but it's beautiful and it's kind of angelic in a way.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Cool.
Yeah. No, that one was on repeat for a very long time.
Oh, cool. And it's funny because some people love that acoustic version, and for me, that wasn't my favorite.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't my favorite version.
After it was done, we were sitting back going, this didn't turn out the way that we wanted to.
Yeah.
Really?
We think it's great, but, I mean, we thought it was really good. But
Yeah.
we were like,
Wish we would have shot a video for Heart Attack.
Totally.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it
Would
goes.
you shoot a video for Heart Attack? Like, if you got the chance?
I mean, I think we're already kind of onto we're onto the next album. We've got another album coming out, and we've got all the acoustic versions of that album. I mean, and not only that, but we just put out the best of, and we have all the acoustic versions of that. There's so much material that we kind of are, accumulating right now, so it's always hard to kind of pick a single, really.
Yeah, so is the next album going to be all original works? Are you...
No, it's actually, it's kind of, the whole album is based around the same, it's called Decade History of Revolution.
Right.
And the first album, as you know, Decade. Mm-hmm. Then we did the acoustic versions of Decade. This album has got now Decade 2, which is a whole new album, and then Decade 2 Acoustic, which is all the acoustic versions of that album. And then we have a whole bunch of the demos that were the original songs from 10 years ago, and even prior to that. And then there's even songs that were like the first songs. Like, for example, there's a song called "Breathing In" that I wrote off that was on Against the Grain. Most people don't realize that song was probably written, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe even 8 years prior. I don't know. It's one of the first songs I ever wrote for Veer. Yeah. But there's like the first original demo of that song. 15 years ago, yeah. So there's all these demos and rarities. So it's really, the reason it's called History of Revolution is because this is the very beginning. Most of this stuff was actually like most people think of us as our first album is Against the Grain, but the stuff that's coming out in Decade is before I even played with the guys that were on Against the Grain. So.
Because you had a different name before you started out. It was like Everything After.
That's
what it was.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, I know this one.
Yeah.
I was like, Everything Afraid, that's wrong. I'm like, Everything
Close, though. Close.
Yeah.
Close. I appreciate you've done your homework. That's nice.
Yeah, you certainly have, which is great.
Well, I have been a fan of you guys since, I think, Seasons came out. Because that's when it was first, like, where... You could hear it on the radio, and my family didn't have internet before then.
Oh,
so,
okay.
No internet makes it a little hard.
Yeah.
But, like, I was at one of your shows in 2012 in April at Woolies with My Darkest Days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fun tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some of your songs from Everything After, they were on Tommy Lee's.
Yes.
Tommy Lee bought them, or how did that go?
Kind of. I had done a deal with 604 Records, and I'd left the record company, and Chad Kruger called me, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm working with Tommy Lee, looking for songs for his new solo album," and I showed him a couple of the songs that you had written, and he really loves these songs. Would you be willing to, have him put him on his album? And I was like, yeah, of course, yeah. So that's really how it came. It was a matter of a phone call, and so it was that. Funny enough, at that time, most people don't know, but Veer wouldn't even really have existed if it wasn't for that Tommy Lee experience. Yeah, because essentially I put out, or he took those couple of songs, and I made a little bit of money off of that, and I basically invested all of that into making the first Veer record, which is not Against the Grain. It's Time to Break the Spell. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's nice when big bands share the wealth a little bit.
Oh.
Or big members, Here. I like this. Let me take it.
Yeah, no, it was a really cool thing that happened, and I'm glad it did, because otherwise we wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
So,
You wouldn't be awkwardly having me sit on a bed while I videotape this.
There's so much more I could have said to that. I'm going to hold back. Until the camera's off. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
This interview's over.
This is on the interwebs. You don't need to be appropriate. Plus, it's a video. I can cut it out later if I need to. Because normally I'm just weird anyway. I have like key points I want to go off of and whatever.
Okay.
I never go off of that. I don't even know why I have a note card anymore.
Well, they're all good questions so far, so I mean...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about... oh, crap. What was it? I don't want to... Last Regret.
Last Regret.
What is that song? Like, where did you get the idea for that song?
Well, funny enough, that song was one of the songs from way back when. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of it's super personal, actually, to be honest. But let me just sum it up by saying that I had experienced a few things in my life that I thought my music career was over. And I think that when we were younger, we always feared everything. It was just like, we always had people going, well, if you don't do this, then it's going to be the end of your career. And if you don't do this, it'll be the end of your career. Mm-hmm. And I think that I've been hearing that my whole entire life. And here we are still making music. Yeah. Now when I think about it, because that lyrical content, it was very applicable to me in my life at that time. I can't forget my last regret. And now it's kind of like I can't forget how I felt about that song that I wrote about that being my last regret, but I don't feel like that anymore. But it for me, it's more of a memory.
Yeah.
But the challenge for me was taking that experience and taking that emotion and reproducing it and making it feel like how I want to hear it now, or how we want to hear it now. And I think we had fun making.
No, we had a
that
great
song.
time. We had a great time.
And one of the cool things too about the History of Revolution, the box set, is you'll hear that song. People are hearing the new version of that song, but they don't even know that song was done 15 years ago. They'll hear the old version of that song, after they've heard the new version, which is, I think, one of the things that I wanted to try to get across to people is, this is what Veer was 15 years ago. And really, I mean, there has been a crazy evolution, but it still strikes the same chord, or it still has some of the same emotion. You can tell where the band has started from and evolved to.
That's kind of awesome. So, had you recorded a bunch of these songs before, or were they just written?
They were all demos.
They were all demos, so they were all recorded.
They were all recorded, but only in a demo version.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons, but I always when I started playing with the new guys that were on Against the Grain, I didn't want to bring those songs in at that time. That's just how I felt. I wanted to start something new, so I shelved the entire album. Also, I had a bit of a bad taste in my mouth because I had been offered all these record deals, and I finally got this deal from Island Def Jam, and then it fell through, and that was going to be the record on Island Def Jam.
Right.
Then I started with so for me, I was just like, I need a fresh new beginning. I need to veer away from everything that I was doing. Then we became Veer. That was literally that, but they were always my songs. Seasons was the only song that I ever brought over that was pre all the guys from Against the Grain. That was the only song that I brought from that. So to me, I was kind of like, why wouldn't I go back to those songs? I'm lucky enough to have a person like Ryan and Dan that were cool enough to go, hey, they're great songs. Let's use them, and we'll also create new songs, and that's what we did.
Did you guys go over the demos and change them together? So did you have a say in, like, you would want to see the guitar played a little bit differently, or did you guys work together in that way?
I mean, we would go over the songs and we would sit back. I mean, really, those songs, because they're so old, the production and everything that was on, we were like, okay, we need to get new production on this, and what we like now, what's relevant now, we would look back and go, okay, well, this chorus is great, but let's try to fix up this verse. And we definitely need some new production on these guitars. We definitely need some new candy and stuff. But it was pretty fun. It really was.
It was challenging.
It was. It was. There was a couple moments where we were like, I mean, Last Regret went pretty well.
Last Regret was really quick, actually.
Last Regret went really well, but some of the other ones...
Yeah. Oh, and that's another funny thing, is Last Regret was I'm going to say 95% recorded the new version of it. Actually was 95% of that song was recorded before Decade even came out.
Yeah, no, that's right. It was like 2015 when we did that. That's right.
Because that was going to be another song that was on Decade, and eventually we just had so many songs. I said, why don't we just do 50-50? So we'll do 50% of the new songs for this album and 50% of the songs for the old album, or for the new album. And then that's kind of, we've been kind of building up to doing this box set for a really long time. Yeah. And then, then we left our label and really wanted to have a shot at, doing our own thing. So I started my own label, and we're just in this evolution. But the thing is, everything that you want to do, you have an idea. It takes time to make an idea come to fruition.
But like literally, we sat on that for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Plus 15.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Long time.
Well, yeah. But hence history of revolution.
But you said you started your own label. What is it called?
It's called Rock Shop Entertainment.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Is that when you decided that you were going to produce these albums yourself, or?
I mean, really, I've been producing kind of the band since day one, and that's another reason why I wanted to do this box set, because you'll actually, on the box set, one of the songs that will be on there is the first version of Seasons that was recorded before the guys that actually were in the band Against the Grain, that were on the album Against the Grain. You'll hear the only difference between that version the demo that I produced is there's very little difference, and you'll hear the only difference is it sounds a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot
because
cleaner.
we went into a big studio and we had a big budget with Universal Records to record it, and it sounded a lot better. And we actually, on the best of, just re-recorded that song, recorded Seasons again, and now Seasons is on the best of, which sounds way better than the Universal version. So
it helps that since you've been producing it since day one, you've eventually you've gotten better over time, and then you're you've learned little techniques over time, and
exactly.
It's like if you go back over my pictures, it's like just put those over there. They don't exist. They don't exist.
Exactly.
It's like once after a certain date, then we'll put those in the portfolio. The other ones we'll just sweep those underneath the bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, you know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. Or if you go back and watch some of my older reviews, you're like, bitch, what are you doing?
Oh, God.
Just stop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Back in the day, we used to get so hammered, and then it would be like, yeah, we're going to do this interview. And I'd be like, now I'd look back and go, oh, no! Oh, God!
It's like, no, don't say that.
Yeah.
Random ask questions round.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
That sounds frightening.
All right. First album you ever purchased, and go.
AC/DC Razor's Edge.
Nice.
I think.
I remember, well, there's two that I remember. I think I got The Cult, Sonic Temple on tape. Mm-hmm. And then I got, my first CD ever for sure, though, was Lenny Kravitz's Mama Said. Right. But if you want to go all the way back to records, I even know fucking...
Boy George, that was your first purchase.
That was your first purchase.
Bro.
Yeah. Well, that was the first poster you put on your wall anyway.
Dude, it was Wham. It was Wham.
That's true. That's true. You probably had them side by side. You're like, I'm not sure. You. No, you.
Yeah. Well, that's true, but you had New Kids.
Yeah, but New Kids were pretty awesome, though, dude.
Sure.
Yeah. You're like, sure, I just like to stick to Wham, bro.
Yeah, it's all in the name.
Okay.
Wham.
Wow.
Wham.
Wham.
You gotta earn
like
the exclamation point.
Wham. Yeah, wham.
Wham.
Whammy. Wham. Okay, so anyway. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. God damn it. That whole... Which one? Baby Liz wrote. One song you wish you wrote.
You know what? I don't know why this just came to mind. It's so weird that it did, but I remember the very first time when I heard Stone Temple Pilots' Plush. I was like, that's the best song ever. And I remember thinking at that time, I wish I wrote that song. I fucking wish I wrote that song. God. Which is funny because I don't think that I've like really felt that way about a song. I don't know. Like, I wish I wrote that song. I can't remember that question going through my mind. But I remember when I was a kid, and I heard that song, like, I wish I wrote that song.
Yeah, I remember being a kid wishing I had written Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
First song you learned to play. Or sing, or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Purple Haze, Jimi Hendrix.
First song. Does it matter what instrument?
Mm-mm.
Fool in the Rain, Led Zeppelin. That was the first song I learned how to play. On the drums, though.
Favorite instrument to play?
Does singing...
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know, like...
Does a skin flute count?
Yes.
Then Ryan loves the skin flute.
Oh my god.
He's like, I'm busted.
Yeah, but that
busted
that's what he brought up.
But that wasn't my first instrument, that was yours. But go on.
But he's like, you might have learned
You might
it
have
first,
aced the skin
but
flute,
you
but I
aced it.
wish I would have. Wishing and doing.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Biggest pet peeve?
Oh. There's so many. Where do I start?
Oh, gosh.
Oh my God.
I know the first one that came to mind.
What was it?
Well, you go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'm scratching my neck right now. That's the sign of a pet peeve right there. Go on.
Well, when I just think about the music industry, because, you know, this is kind of about the music industry, my biggest pet peeve is the bands coming out today that have rich parents and all they want to do is be rich and famous. Actually, they don't even really care about being rich because their mom and dad's already rich. They just want to be famous. My biggest pet peeve is when I started doing music, it was all about the art and the struggle to write something real from the heart and be an artist.
I agree. That is the most annoying thing.
It's the most annoying. My
really
biggest
is.
pet peeve is all these people that are. It's because now, as we all know, you look at Instagram, for example. Who's famous on Instagram? Hot chicks. What do they have to say? Nothing. They just have great asses. I love a great ass more than anyone. But at the end of the day, it's not saying anything. There's no substance to it. And that is what the world has become.
Yeah.
And so that's my biggest pet peeve. It is the state of the business. And the truth is if you're working in the business and you can take this band over here that has no money and try to build them up, or take this band that has half the amount of talent that has money, you're going to go with the band that has money 10 times, 100 times over this band. It's just the way it is. And that is why music is getting worse and worse all the time. There's just a million bands that are
everything just sounds the same, because then they're like, yeah, everybody likes this one band. Let's just keep doing that. No, I don't want to hear the same band every 5 fucking minutes on the goddamn radio if they play new music. That's the one thing that bothers me. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Don't even get me going on that. We actually almost have to change the subject because I'll say something that I shouldn't. That's how bad that is.
I am this close. I am this close. I have been doing research about it on the one radio station from near in Iowa that one is great. I love.
We're literally going to change the subject. I'm actually going to call it right there.
I'm that close to making this just really long video about it and just venting and going.
And that's the beauty about people in your position. You can do that, and you should, because trying to expose the truth is really one of the things that is slowing down. It's because the truth is only just being starting to be exposed about why the system is so fucked. Yeah. But until everybody knows it, like, for example, remember when everyone's just like, wow, that I love that song, and that person's such a great singer, but they really had no idea when they were singing live how come it sounds so much different in the album, and all of a sudden people were starting to discover autotune. But now you don't have to be a producer to understand what autotune is. Everybody knows what autotune is.
Now you can just download a fucking app on your phone.
100%. But the most important thing is the fact that everybody. My mom knows what auto-tune is. Mm-hmm. My mom knows that there's pitch correction on a voice. Mm-hmm. My mom doesn't give a shit about the music industry, but it's all about common knowledge, and it's going to take everybody understanding the lie that they're being sold to be common knowledge. Once everybody knows that, that's when the industry is going to change.
It's going to take a while, and I think
it's going to take a fucking long time.
Blackballed from all their fucking concerts. Good thing I don't go through them. Yeah. Okay, back to fun
fun stuff.
Did you see the new Star Wars movie?
Yes.
We did. We saw it on tour.
Yes.
All right. Favorite new character, or favorite character?
I don't know what those little fucking doggy were like. They were pretty fucking sweet. That point where he was about to eat, that was probably the best part of the whole movie, let's be honest.
Yeah. Those are my favorite Star Wars. I did enjoy, what is the bad guy's name? What's his name?
Kylo. Or Snoke.
Yeah.
I do kind of like him.
Yeah, he's good.
He is good. He is good.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely good points about Star Wars for sure, and there's some parts.
If it wasn't Star Wars, I think I would enjoy it a lot more. But the fact that it was Star Wars, I was kind of like,
You know what the hardest part for me is the fact that watching the new Avengers trailer.
Oh gosh!
Before watching Star Wars, it was just like, okay, so Star Wars just doesn't like. I think the new Avengers is going to.
Yeah, Marvel should do Star Wars.
Is Joss Whedon still doing this new Avengers that's coming out? Because he did the first one.
Not sure.
I don't know.
Because that would make all the sense in the world. Because all hail Joss Whedon. I'm a nerd. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, you're super nerd.
Yeah,
I am.
They're really, when it comes to Marvel though, like there's so little that they fuck up.
Yeah, they do. Like, they just do it so well.
It's always good.
Yeah,
and then there's DC, which we'll just kick in the corner.
Like,
shh, be quiet and know your place.
I mean, other than Batman versus
I was just about to say, I remember the first time hearing, Batman versus Superman's coming out. I'm like, that's fucking retarded.
But do you know who loved it was Dan. Dan loved it. Dan was like, we got out of it. He was like, that was sick. I'm just like, I'm gonna murder you, Dan.
I left it. I'm like, why the fuck? That line, if there's 1% chance, we must take it as 100% certainty. No, you fucking Ben Affleck, shut the fuck up. Think, you have evidence in front of you that said that the guy was gonna do shit in the wheelchair. Like, that was someone from his company. He had sent all the. And you're blaming Superman for doing it. You're just as much to blame.
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
But it's
even more exactly.
It's like, I am Superman, who's like essentially God from another planet, versus Batman, who has
who is a
Superman?
I have tons of money.
Superman is seriously just like, dude, I just want to talk to you. It's like a gnat picking at him. He's like shooting all this shit, and he's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. I need you for 2 goddamn seconds.
Yeah,
he should have just caught up and slapped him and went, stop it.
I think the storyline was a lot stronger. The reason that Batman was so pissed off at Superman, I actually thought that whole beginning part was the best part of the whole fucking movie. Yeah. Because you already know going into it, okay, so he's gonna fight Kryptonite and fucking, it's so fucking stupid. You already know that, no matter what. If it's Batman versus Superman, there is no contest. He's got to have kryptonite, and now it's stupid.
Yeah. It's very stupid.
Like I love Smallville, for example. But every single fucking episode is just like, there's someone's going to find kryptonite. Every single episode.
But this time it's a red kryptonite.
Totally.
It makes him evil.
Exactly.
Oh, and this time his dad somehow, because he held the kryptonite, when he held the kryptonite, they got each other. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same over and over. And now they're going to make a movie about it and switch up Batman. And
it's
make
not
Batman
have daddy issues.
That's so brutal.
It's like, dude, you have so much money. They got you therapy. You're just still being a whiny little bitch. Stop it. Sorry, I have opinions about nerd things.
You're good.
You're an angry nerd.
Yeah. I am an angry nerd.
An angry nerd.
Yeah.
Favorite song to perform live?
Divide.
100%. Without a doubt. I mean, Gravity, at first, I fucking hated it. I was like... It was so painful. It was so hard. But now that's one of my favorites. But Divide's always my favorite.
Divide's,
that's when we burn it down. So.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite venue to play at?
Ooh, I'll let you go. there's many great venues all over the country, but I would say
it's literally I can't even answer it.
I mean, I do love playing. Machine Shop is always
Machine Shop is always killer.
There's
but
so many great.
So many all the House of Blues shows that we played.
Oh my god!
And then we just played this tiny little venue called Hijinks.
Yep.
And it was one of the most fun shows.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was awesome.
It really depends. I think it depends.
It depends on the people too.
It depends.
You know?
Yeah, it depends on.
And it depends on the promoter.
Yeah.
But Hijinks probably was.
That was sick.
RIND Entertainment.
The Rock is not dead. Yeah.
The Rock is not dead, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that was sick.
Best, yeah.
It was
I don't know.
meltdown night. It was a meltdown.
It was awesome.
The show was great.
It was awesome.
What happened was great.
Yeah.
Everything was great.
Yeah.
It really just depends.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've kept you here for a long ass fucking time, and I have an hour and a half drive. So
yeah, hurry the fuck up.
I know, right? I am like the worst interviewer ever.
Not the worst.
Oh, good. There's one that's worse than me. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Wow, that's quite the ego you have.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
There's got to be at least one worse than me, and then we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So one piece of advice you would give up and coming bands:
Don't do it.
stay in school.
If you're gonna do it because you love it.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
it. I mean, that's the only reason to do it. If you want to do it because you want to be rich and famous, you already failed.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. That's good. All right, we gotta end on something funny though.
Okay.
All right. Favorite Marvel superhero?
Thor. So hot. Right now. At the box office.
Damn, that's tough because.
Dude, no. When Loki comes out in that all black tech. Sorry.
He's okay. No, he's okay.
Well,
Thor just smashes him, but anyway.
No shit. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you like Batman? Batman's your favorite?
Batman's-
I said Marvel.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I'm just giving him a hard time.
No, he's not. He fucked that up.
No.
Yeah.
You love Scarlett Johansson. You're like, man, if I could be anyone, I'd be Scarlett Johansson.
If I could be in anyone, like be inside of anyone, it would be Scarlett for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with Scarlett. You're like, that's gay, bro.
Yeah,
You're giving me that look.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would like to be inside Scarlett.
Yeah. I think most
For
people
some
would
time.
choose that.
Yeah.
I think even
if I had a choice between being Thor and being inside Scarlett, I would go with Scarlett.
I'd pick Thor.
You're different.
For being Thor. Because
You want to be inside
Because if I was
Thor.
Thor, I could be inside Scarlett.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
No!
Scarlett
She
likes
likes
the Hulk.
Hulk.
You're
You
an
need-
idiot.
I like Hulk though. Hulk is funny.
I just get her drunk and then Thor.
Oh my god.
No, it doesn't work.
I think this interview is over.
On that note, that's it for a Shot of Rock. I am your host, Alex, and this has been my interview with the Veer Union. And we'll see you at the Rock Show.
Nice.